Good morning, natural gas. It's Tuesday, June the 9th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And for the spot July contract, we're barely higher. We're up just 1.2 cents here to 315.90 or 0.38%. And as you can see, we're below the 13 and 48 period exponential moving averages. They've just been crossing back and forth. So we've got a lot of swing trading here, a lot of day trading. Why? Well, renewables are higher. LNG is starting to pick up. The weather forecasts are easing off in the late forecast period. But up front, we've got heavy power burn. Let's take a look at the hourly here chart. And as you can see, we're above the daily pivot, which came in today at 314.60. The RSI, though, is turning lower here. So we'll look for support here at 309.80. That's our first support. Below that, 304.80. And let's take a look at the overseas markets here. This is the Japan-Korea marker. And as you can see, this is from yesterday. It was down, it was up a little bit, up 12 cents here, roughly here at 1889 and a half. So almost $19 per MMBTU. So it is over what would be the TTF. This is the title transfer facility, the European marker. And as you can see, it's roughly at $16.80. So any spot LNG cargoes are destined for Asia. Let's take a look at that temperature outlook. And here's the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. This is June 16th through the 22nd. And as you can see, below normal temperatures in the upper Midwest. The above normals are in the Pacific Northwest or Florida. And Texas, a mix near normal or slightly above. And that's not helping the market. Let's take a look at ERCOT. And as you can see right now, renewables almost 50,000 megawatts here of total capacity out of a system demand peak today over 78,000 megawatts. As a result, system-wide prices right now pushing down, and it looks like it's going to try and bottom out around $14 to $15 today. How about the fuel mix? Well, because the nuclear units are up and running and wind and solar are picking up here, natural gas is down below 30% of the fuel mix right now. Let's take a glance across the power grids for the United States. PJM is the one that's picking up the most today, expected to get up near $120 per megawatt hour. And as you can see here, everything else is quite low. For ERCOT, maybe gets up to $50, just below that. MISO, though, is going to be pushing out, expected to be around 140 today. So otherwise, yes, it's warm out there. Yes, we've got plenty of power load. No, we don't have a rally in natural gas. Let's take a look at the anomaly map here for the United States. And as you can see, we do have above normal temperatures, and then all of a sudden, we've got cooler temperatures pushing in from Canada here, keeping the upper Midwest, Chicago, parts of New England, and maybe even the mid-Atlantic states cooler than normal for a day or so. And then the heat starts to build again in the west and then pushes further to the north and east as we go through the forecast period. So up and down, swinging back and forth on above or slightly below normal temperatures here as we go through the forecast period. And let's take a look at the heat risk as a result today. As you can see right now, we've got even extreme weather risk here, but it is in less populated centers around Texas and Oklahoma here, and especially around the Oklahoma-Kansas border. And let's push it going further out. As you can see here, we start picking up some more cities here in extreme heat risk in Arkansas, parts of Mississippi, even parts further. And then we get heat risk all the way up the East Coast here into Virginia, Washington, D.C., all the way up towards Chicago. Then that starts to ease up a little bit as Chicago and New York start to cool down. And then even parts of Texas start to cool off here as we get closer and closer toward June 15th. Let's take a look at Europe here. And this is windy.com. And as you can see, warmer temperatures here in the Iberian Peninsula, but cooler in France and Germany and, of course, the UK. The heat is staying to the southern tier of Europe. Let's see if we can push over to Asia here. And as you can see, well, it's not picking up the temperatures here, but let's see if we can push it up. No, doesn't want to work today. So It is warm across India. It is slightly cooler in the eastern provinces of China, Japan, and Korea at the moment here. Let's see if we can go through the forecast period and see if we can pick up the temperatures. But unfortunately, nope, not wanting to do so. As you can see, though, it does start to warm up here in Hong Kong area here around Shanghai, even starts to push up a little further north here as we go through the forecast period. So let's take a look at European storage, and it's about 42.5% full. And as you can see, the injections are right along the 5-year average, but that's overall. Let's take a look at our pokey puppies here. The Netherlands still the new minimum for storage full. At this stage, it is starting to inject. Hopefully, they'll get the picture here with the cooler temperatures. Let's take a look at the UK. This is Great Britain here. And as you can see, it is also at a new min for this time of year. And as you can see, the injections are roughly around the average. How about Belgium? That's also quite low. And as you can see, it's still above the 5-year minimum, but injections are quite light. So again, across the EU, 42.5% full, but we've got some that are behind the curve right now. Let's take a look at LNG, and we've got the Barzan. The Barzan LNG tanker is sitting at the dock for Golden Pass. Let's hope they've got enough LNG in the next few days to load this boat, but it is going to be sitting at the dock awaiting a cargo. And let's take a look at Cameron. Cameron is running near full capacity here. It's running right now 1.477 out of 1.56. This is good news for Cameron LNG. How about Creole Trail? This is Cheniere's Creole Trail. This feeds Sabine Pass. And again, there's very little capacity open on Creole Trail right now. That's good news there. Also running hot. But here's Corpus Christi. Again, there is compressor station work through today at Sinton, and that's affecting 300,000 MMBTUs. This is a drop of 300,000 from the day before. So this is good news as they start bringing Corpus Christi back online. And here is Freeport LNG. As you can see right now, just over 1.1 BCF out of 1.7415 or 14, excuse me, capacity at the moment here for Freeport LNG. So still has a long way to go. And here is Venture Globals. This is Calcasieu Pass here. It still has plenty of capacity open still. And if we move over to Plaquemines, again, it's running slightly over nameplate capacity, so over 100%. That's good news. And here's Golden Pass. Golden Pass still doing some maintenance here after its first export cargoes, only running 8,600 MMBTUs out of 800,000 to 850,000 MMBTUs. So let's take a look at the tropics. Well, it's kind of quiet. We do have some activity here south of Jamaica, but overall the Gulf is quiet. And of course, the Mid-Atlantic is still expected to be no development over the next 7 days. And here's another reason why, the Saharan air layer. I know I harp on this every day, but that Saharan dust inhibited hurricane activity last year until very late. Looks like a repeat pattern. What else is interesting in the markets? Well, we had an earthquake here off the west coast of Cuba, where there really aren't any faults. We haven't had an earthquake over 6.0 for 150 years in this particular space. And this comes on the heels of a very large earthquake in the Philippines over 7.0. So this is very unusual. We haven't seen this in a while. We'll keep a careful eye on what's going on here. And here's our stocks in the oil and gas E&P sector. Stocks between $2 and $10 billion have a high short float, over 10%. And as you can see right now, it's a sea of red. Why? Because crude oil is coming off here. Natural gas is pretty much unchanged. So behind me, CNX down 0.6%. Recapping here for the spot July contract, we're up just 8 ticks, 315.5 here, or 0.25%. It is going sideways. Storage expectations now between 95 and 100. That goes up against last year's 110 and the 5-year average of plus 95. Again, production probably about 110 BCF. LNG in total is around 16.5 BCF per day. And again, storage expectations now between plus 95 to plus 100. So bullish relative to last year, neutral relative to the 5-year average. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.